Chiirp is a lead conversion platform specifically designed for home service businesses. We're deeply integrated with Service Titan, House Call Pro, Jobber, all the field service management platforms, and our goal is to help companies turn more of their marketing dollars into sales. So convert more leads into jobs by automating follow up throughout the different various steps of the customer journey. We've all heard it 1,000 times. The fortune is in the follow up, but most of us just aren't doing it very effectively. And so if we can blend automation with our unique personalities in our business, we can implement follow up at different points, which can lead to higher conversion rates on your leads.
Welcome to the Irrigation Insights Podcast, where we talk about the business of irrigation. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
Well, thanks for having us on. Did you guys want to cover anything with us, or do we just kind of wing it?
Yeah, I mean, we can just roll into it. I mean, I really just kind of had my intro for you, Justin. I mean, I just had you're the VP of Sales and Partnerships. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just had my intro for you.
Okay.
How did you get into that?
I've been in software for quite a while, and Ryan was still selling Chiirp about 2.5 years ago and needed someone to come in and so he could focus on more high level stuff. And so he reached out to me, we connected, and it's been on from there. So there's a cooler story to it, but that's the short story.
Okay.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I have a lot of stories like that. Well, Ryan, I mean, what made you want to start a company like Chiirp?
Are we going now or?
Yeah, we're going.
Oh, we're going. Okay.
Yeah, we just soft roll right into it.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I could have done a better job than that, but all right.
No, that's okay.
What made you? I thought we were just talking, but Ryan, yeah, what made you start Chiirp?
Yeah, I wanted to make money, so no.
Isn't that why we all start?
No, I had had quite a bit of success with automation in my previous company. So my first successful, I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always wanted to make a ton of money as an entrepreneur. I didn't like doing things conventionally. I've never really done things conventionally. I didn't finish high school, or I've just always kind of been out hustling. And I started a windshield repair business in 2010, about 15 years ago. And I had some great success with that business. I grew it to about 9 locations. And we had guys working out of dealerships and all this stuff. And it was a great business. And then in 2014, I got the idea to start a how to run your own windshield repair business course, an online digital course. And that was kind of before courses were cool. And I built this online course and I started generating leads using Facebook ads. And I found that if I texted the leads right when they came in, I had a higher chance of converting them into a sale. And I started to kind of piece together automations to make that happen. And I was really successful with the course. I made like $2 million selling that course and helping people start their own business. And I just thought, if this process of selling, this automation, text message automation, if that's so effective for me, I'll bet it'll be effective for other businesses too. And that's when the idea for Chiirp was conceptualized. And I reached out to a programmer friend that I knew, and I'm not a programmer. And so I said, yeah, you want to partner with me on this, and I'll tell you what to build and I'll sell it. You build it. And we started building Chiirp, and here we are.
That's all. Yeah, I got a bunch of questions now. That's awesome story.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, with the repair business, windshield repair business, how did you grow that to 9 locations? I imagine that's a small average ticket business.
Yeah.
And growing a small average ticket business to 9 locations is a challenge. It's not like roofing. You see a lot of roofers talking about, we've been in business 5 years, we're doing $30 million. Like, yeah, you probably should be when your average ticket's 20,000 or whatever. But
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get to that level and something with small average tickets.
So yeah, let me explain the model there because it's definitely we want clarity on what that means, 9 locations, and it's not like I had 9 physical buildings that I was operating out of. Well, technically I did, but how it worked was insurance companies pay you to have a windshield repaired. So like they don't want to have to pay to replace the windshield, so they'll pay a guy like me to go out and fix it. They'll pay me anywhere from $65 to $85 for a 10-minute, 15-minute repair. Okay? And 25% of the cars on the road right now need windshield repair. So there's a huge volume of cars that need it, and it's a fast repair. The trouble is finding the person that wants to do it, right? And so the first thing we did was we would go door to door. We would just knock on doors and say, "Hey, we do windshield repair. Do you have any chips in your windshield? We'd love to look at it." And that actually worked, and we got enough. I mean, think about it. I had a 1-year-old son, and I lived in a apartment that where I made my rent was like $600. So making $200 in a day was baller money for me. And so I'd go out and knock doors and get 3 or 4 repairs in an afternoon, and I was making more money than any job was going to be willing to pay me. Making $200-300. And then we went down to California and we saw these guys. We live in Utah now, but I'm from California. I went down there to visit my parents, and we went to get gas at a gas station, and these guys came up and they washed my windshield. And I realized what they were doing. They were actually doing lead generation by offering windshield, by washing your windshield. And so you come and get gas, they'd wash your windshield, and then if you had a chip or a crack on your windshield, they would offer a repair on the spot. And that was just like a really cool, like, holy cow, how many cars are coming in and out of a gas station every day? 25% of those have a chip. If I could just talk to those people, I'll bet I could get a lot of repairs. So I went back to Utah, and I went to this gas station that was near my apartment, and I went up to the guy and I said, "Hey," the owner, and I said, "Hey, this is what I want to do." And he's like, "That sounds like a really cool idea." So he like let me in that day, and that was like I think it was on a Friday because we went in the next day, Saturday, and I did like 15 repairs, which, do the math, $65. I made like $1,000 that day, and I was just like, holy cow, like I'm balling hard, right? And then, so that was what I would consider a location. I would have a guy, and then I was like, I'm gonna get a guy here doing this out of this gas station. I'm gonna pay him X dollars, and he's gonna be happy, and I'm gonna be happy. And then we got into more gas stations, and the next thing you know, some dealerships, Toyota dealership, Honda dealerships, they came up to us. They saw what we were doing, and they said, "Hey, we have cars coming through our service drive every day for oil changes and service. Why don't you have a guy there looking for chips in those windshields?" And so next thing you know, we're in the Toyota dealership, the Honda dealership, the Nissan dealership, the Hyundai dealership, and we had guys there just doing repairs all day, looking for repairs. And that company that I started, I sold to my friend, and it's still operational. 15 years later, it's still going and still doing about 100 chips a day, repairs. So that was the process for building that business. So
That's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to get to, like, right off the bat, just while people are listening, I know a lot of people don't watch the full episodes of podcasts based off what we've seen. We did over 100,000, maybe like right at 100,000, a little more in revenue from our Chiirp number last year, and I don't even think we were fully tracking it right. I think we missed out on some of the tracking. Which is just awesome, and we're not even using it to its fullest potential. We only did 2 mass campaigns, mass texting campaigns, like one email campaign, and then we have it.
So $100,000, and you're probably, you're in the same boat as everybody. Nobody's using it to its fullest maximum potential. It's probably impossible to do that. There's a lot of people getting cranking with it, just absolutely cranking. But the fact that you did 100K without utilizing everything just shows it's like the massive value. But yeah, tell us about that. Tell us more about that campaign or those campaigns you did.
Yeah, we just have it. I mean, we have the speed delete on our website where as soon as somebody fills out a form, they're getting a message. Anytime we get an abandoned call, so we have Service Titans, so if any call gets marked as abandoned, they're getting a message. We start that campaign. We have it hooked up to LSA, so if we get a message on LSA, they get messages.
Autoresponder.
Yep, which has been awesome. Not only just for booking, but keeping the responsive rate up.
Yep,
which is awesome for a ton of reasons. Trying to think what else. Oh, and then we just do. If anybody signs up for like a plan, they get a welcome email, sends them some benefits. Then if we run we only really run specials like twice a year, and then that's when we can set out. Hey, we have 12,000 contacts, and we're gonna send 500-600 messages a day, broken out over however many days, between 9 and we do it between like 9 and 3, or 10. I think it's 10 and 3 actually. We don't start it too early. We like to end it early enough in the afternoon to let it trail out. We still have time in the afternoon to book them all. I mean, just like that, 100,000 in revenue, and I just wanted the listeners to know how powerful it was, and if y'all wanted to go over kind of what y'all charge for this service, the different options, so they could see how much return they can get on their investment with a software like yours.
Well, you're doing awesome, right? 100 grand, and it's oftentimes we see this like that's $100,000, and maybe not, but a lot of times it's like that's revenue that absolutely a company would have missed. Like they look at it and they go, "Holy cow!" Like, and that's the anxiety that I want to kind of get onto people's plates, and I don't mean that in a bad way, anxiety, but I want people to realize how much money they're leaving on the table and take action. Because I'll give you an example. Tommy Mello, A1 Garage Door, if you've ever heard of him.
Oh yeah, big fan.
You would think that a guy like that has everything figured out, right? I can tell you firsthand that he absolutely does not. In life, in relationships, and no, I'm just kidding.
No, seriously though,
But-
nobody has it all figured out, and I think sometimes we put people on this pedestal that we follow and we watch, and we just think that they have it all figured out, and it's just not the case.
Yeah. And so you look at a guy like Tommy and you think he's got it all figured out. We implemented one strategy in December of 2024, so just a month and a half ago, and he did $800,000 with that strategy. Okay. And so it's like, holy cow, how much has he missed before that?
Oh.
How many millions of dollars? And so that's when I say I want that anxiety, I mean, take action. You should have anxiety that there's leaky holes in your bucket, right? That people are escaping through, and you could be grabbing that, because people are always focused. They're going, give me more leads, give me more leads, give me more leads. And a lot of those leads are going into the bucket and shooting right out a hole, right? And so you say, yeah, cool, get more leads. You always want to get more leads, but fix your bucket. Fix the holes in your bucket so that you're not losing so many, right? And so you talk in your case, okay, $100,000. Yeah, I don't. That's huge. Like it's not $800,000 a month like Tommy Mello, but that's not what we're going for. And it's still, even in your case, still a huge ROI, because you're looking at what, like maybe 7 to 10 grand a year, right?
Yeah.
7 to 10 grand a year, and you go, okay, cool. You got a 10x return like where could you focus effort on your business that's going to give you a 10x return, right?
Amen.
And that's what I try to say. It's like when you move into like investor mindset and you start going, oh, I can get a return over here, I can get a return over here. What you get away from is you go, the place where you can get the biggest return is focusing on your business, on your thing, on what you do, and putting all your time and effort and energy into that thing. And that's where you're going to get the highest return. And these are the kind of things, these kind of tools you invest in. You look at what's going to cause massive impact in my business. For example, scaling authenticity. You could sit as an owner and call everybody that schedules and thank them for scheduling. You could. You wouldn't do that because it would be really difficult to do, but you could do it. And it would be effective because you could call and say, hey, thank you so much for doing business with us. I'm the owner of the company, and I just wanted to thank you for booking. It's like a gesture, and it's nice. And that's what you can do when you're small, and that's how people feel. They feel like this connection, right? And they feel like, man, that's my guy. I trust my guy. I'm going to keep my guy. I'm going to keep using him. But as you scale your business, you can't do that, right? You can't maintain that level of authenticity because now you have layers and layers between you. But you can with technology, and you can look what can cause massive impact, and you go, all right, let's do a video. Let's just do a simple selfie video and just go, hey, thank you so much for booking with me. I'm the owner of the company. This is my wife. These are my kids, or whatever, however far you want to take it. And just say, we're a local company, and we really appreciate your business. I fully expect that my technician's going to give you 5-star service. If for any reason he doesn't, please be sure to reach out to me. I want to make sure you're taken care of. Now imagine sending that every time somebody schedules automatically. Now you're taking your authenticity and you're scaling it, right? And you're sending it out to everybody. I did that with the windshield repair business. I recorded a video on why you should join the windshield repair business. I recorded it. It was a 45-minute like webinar presentation. And every time somebody would request information, I would respond with a text message that says, thank you so much for requesting information about starting your own windshield repair business. Please watch this video and then let me know if you're interested. And that video sold for me $2 million worth of that product. I recorded it one time, 45 minutes, and it was my salesman that went out to every lead and sold for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I'm looking to scale. I'm looking to do things that have massive impact. Not what can I do today that's going to be 1 for 1 on my return. I'm looking, what can I do today that can give me 1 to 100? If I'm going to put in 45 minutes of effort, how am I going to get $2 million out of that 45 minutes of effort, right? And that's the kind of thinking as an owner you should be looking at.
That's incredible. I hope everybody really gets that. The irrigation industry is so behind. I think it's 15,
Can you say that again?
Yeah, it's 15, 20 years behind.
We still hear about guys running around with paper invoices. I mean,
Yeah,
I know. And look, don't be too hard on it, because everybody's like that. Every industry is like that, and we hear technology all the time. We hear people screaming technology all the time. Here's the beauty, and where this is where I want to shift people's mindsets from anxiety behind like how much tech there is, into kind of this empowered space. Okay, so a lot of guys, they see it and they go, oh, I just saw a new AI thing, and I saw this text messages thing, and I saw this field service management thing, and they just get overwhelmed, and what happens when we get overwhelmed? We just give up, right? We just go, screw it. I'm going to do it the way that I've always known. I've always done it this way, so I'm just going to keep doing it that way. And they give up on adopting software. Now, here's where I want to shift that mindset into an empowered state. You said it. We're behind. Okay, cool. What does that do? That means that there's room for you and time for you to take advantage. There's a huge blue ocean of opportunity to go, okay, if I just implement one little thing here and one little thing here and just slowly build, I'm keeping up with everybody. I don't have to be Tommy Mello,
No.
right? I just have to keep pace in where I'm at. And so just know that if you're having frustration with it and anxiety, so is everybody else. And so just adopt this mindset of, cool, I'm just going to add one automation. I'm going to add one layer of technology to my business. I'm going to get used to that. And then I'm going to add another layer, just like what you guys are doing. It's not, you said it, you're not using 100% of Chirp. I think I already gave you an idea to go implement today, but you go, I'm using 10% of it and I still made $100,000. Sweet. I won. Now I'm gonna just add another layer. I'm gonna add one more thing to my process. I'm gonna add one more. It's not let's do it all right now.
You can't do it all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he brings up a good point. It's something that we're focused on heavily right now. And we've been focused on it in the past, and it's one of our differentiators, but we're even more focused on it now. With all the technology out there and people getting overwhelmed, it's like, all right, what do I implement? Like, we truly believe that it's all about adoption today. It's about adopting whatever you pick correctly and implementing it. And so we're investing heavily in our team. We're bringing on adoption specialists to really guide the contractor and let them know exactly what gaps we can help them fill in their business. So one of the differentiators of Chiirp is like, we'll build your campaigns for you. We'll set up your triggers for you. We take as much of the load off of the contractor as we can so that they can focus on what they're good at. And we're investing even heavier into it because we just believe that with all the technology out there and all of the options that contractors have, adoption is key more than it has ever been.
Oh, 100%. And I can speak to that. Anytime I have trouble, if I'm trying to set up a campaign that I don't understand, I can call in Chiirp, and they'll stay on the phone with me for 45 minutes and build the campaign with me, test it with me. And we'll just be on there forever until the campaign works. And I've signed up for other companies. I'm not going to call them out, but I've signed up for some other that,
we know who they are.
Yeah, postcard companies maybe that seem really cool, but they offer no support. They just throw you to the wolves, and they don't, and they just.
There's a point. There's going to be a point in software with how fast AI is generating software and generating ideas and all this stuff. There's going to be a point where companies like mine, where the actual software itself isn't like our only moat. It's like there'll be a lot of places that can accomplish the same outcome, but it's whether or not we can provide the service to help you adopt those things into your business. And so somebody might come out with a real bright and shiny object and be like, hey, cool, check out what this software can do. I make this joke where it's like they built these robots that can do a backflip. It was a robot dog. Do you remember those little robot dogs?
Yeah.
Look where, and it could do a backflip. And it's like, whoa, that's really cool. It can do a backflip. How much money does that make me? It's like, it's cool. It's bright and shiny, but what does it really do for me? And so that's what we're going to help people with, where they might see a software and go, that's really cool. It can do this really crazy cool thing. And you go, that's great. Is it going to make you money right now? And let's see if you can actually adopt it into your business. And that's where this kind of support and this relationship with a software company that's going to help you adopt those things can help you see and navigate and decide, what does my business need today, not the robot backflipping dog necessarily.
Yeah. 100%. And I know we're on Service Titan, and y'all have the deepest integration possible with Service Titan. So I wanted to see if you could explain what that means. And we're also one of the few irrigation companies on Service Titan. A lot of irrigation companies are one-man shows. They're maybe 2-3-man companies. So they're on Jobber or House Call Pro. And I wanted to see if you could, do you work with those CRMs and what's your integration like with them? Yeah.
So what I discovered early on in Chiirp. So when I started Chiirp, I was not like home service agnostic or exclusive. I was I was just selling it to anybody that would buy it, right? And I discovered that the hardest thing to do is to get somebody to switch over what they're doing and move away from something into something totally new. It's kind of like if I had this really cool building and said, "Hey, look at all these features of this building, but you've got to move out of your existing building and you got to move your shop and you've got to move all your stuff." It's like a huge ask, way too much to ask. And so we discovered that if we integrate with your existing systems, that was a way to make this work. I could sell it to somebody and say, "Hey," because they go, "Oh, that's really cool, but man, I don't want to leave Service Titan, or I've got House Call Pro and I don't want to leave that. It's really cool." And it was like, "Well, no, we don't want you to leave and change what you're doing. We want everything you're doing, this to complement that." So you're already hitting certain things in House Call Pro, Service Titan, Jobber. We have the integrations into all of those. We have a lot of upcoming integrations. If we don't have an integration with we likely can still make it work. But the point is you're already operating a certain way. We want to come in and go, "Cool, we're just going to enhance that. You don't have to change your day to day." So for example, I can trigger an estimate follow-up. You're going out already. You're giving estimates to customers. And then what are you doing? It's like if they don't close, what are you doing? Maybe calling a couple of times. We'll recognize that. Chiirp will recognize that the estimate didn't close, and it'll trigger a campaign to follow up with that estimate. And then, if it closes, we recognize that from Service Titan, and it'll stop the follow-up campaign at the right time. And so now you're already doing it. You're already sending the estimate. You're already hitting these buttons in Service Titan. You're already doing that stuff. And Chiirp's recognizing that and starting these follow-ups. So it's basically like if you had an assistant sitting there and you said, "Hey, I sent out that estimate. Can you make sure they get followed up with?" And then you walk away. That's it. Then you're done. And and Chiirp's going, "Cool, I'm going to do it." But this assistant doesn't get sick. You don't have to pay an hourly wage. Doesn't complain.
Yeah.
And it just keeps doing it for you. So we have those integrations to make that a much more seamless transition than trying to come and say, "Hey, you got to leave Jobber and come over here." It's no, let's just enhance what you're doing. We have a great relationship with Jobber. We have a great integration. We have a great integration with House Call Pro. We have a great integration with Service Titan, Workies, Field Pulse. I'm looking at the list that we're working on right now. Field Routes, Improve It 360 is coming up.
Successware,
lots of them. So yeah,
That's awesome. And another thing, this kind of annoys me, but I laugh at it too. I always see this on the irrigation Facebook groups. Whenever people talk about, "Oh, we're doing text message marketing, we're going to be sending out a bunch of text," I always see a few people that are like, "I wouldn't do that. It can be illegal. The fines aren't worth it, this and that." So I wanted to see if you could explain how it is. Like, there is a legal process to do text message marketing. I mean, every store I go to, I put my phone number in, and now once a month I'm getting texts.
Yeah.
So we can do this too.
Yeah.
It's just
they want you to be. They like that you're scared. That those guys are scared. You got to get past this idea that, "Oh, you can't text." There are rules that you need to follow, and there's stuff you need to do. But if you're just gonna say, you can't do it," it's like, well, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. We send millions and millions and millions of text messages through Chiirp. We've never seen anything happen. We've seen people get threatened by somebody going, "Hey, if you text me again, I'm going to sue you," whatever. There are rules you have to follow. We will help you follow those rules. I'm not going to go into like the legal definitions of things, but sufficeth to say, number one, you should be getting opt-in. You should just make it a regular practice that on your invoices and everything, you should have an opt-in that says, "I'm going to be texting you." And if you are generating leads, if you're generating, business, then you can communicate with those leads as long as you follow the process. Now, what people are scared of, they hear these stories of, "Oh, if you blast messages to people, you can get in trouble." And yes, you can. If you go and buy a list online, or buy like you can buy data, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're going to do that, then you're going to get in trouble. You don't have a relationship with that person, so don't start a text message with that person. But if you have a relationship, if you have a proven relationship with this customer, they've at some point requested information or contacted you. These are processes that you follow. We're not talking about blasting cold lists to millions of people, which is what people equate to text message marketing. And that, yes, will get you in trouble, but that's not what we do. So,
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that because every time somebody brings it up, I see it and I'm like,
yeah, don't be afraid of it. Like, just follow the
Here's
rules.
here's the deal, dude. I was online the other day and I was shopping online and I put something in my cart and I didn't end up checking out. And I got follow-up text messages from that internet company.
Yeah.
Like every industry's doing it.
yeah.
And they're doing it because it converts the highest. 95% of Americans prefer texting as their number one form of communication. Honestly, they'd rather have a text message than a phone call. Most people would rather text than answer a phone call. And so I was going somewhere else with that. But yeah, every industry is doing it. We obviously follow guidelines. Like Ryan said, we don't have to get into all of the details there. But at the end of the day, that's where I was going. People are in front of their phones. You know, I was on a webinar the other day and with a best practice group, BDR. And one of the things I had them do while I was on that webinar is I was like, all right, take out your phone. So anyone listening to this podcast could do the same thing. Take out your phone, go to your email, and look at how many unread emails you have. Right? Now go to your phone, look at your text messages, and how many unread text messages do you have? Right? Whether they respond to that text message is one thing, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just how people communicate these days. So we follow the guidelines, but don't be scared. It'll help you make a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Take some risks. Don't be such a baby. You know,
I know,
what I'm
that's what I'm saying. Gosh, it just some people
God,
just want to
make
cry
money.
about everything. Yeah.
Hey, that email thing. I'm not getting on that email thing. I like sending letters, handwritten.
Yeah. Gosh.
That's what I'm gonna do in my business.
Reminds me of those chain emails that if you didn't forward back in the day,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
somebody's coming to kill you in your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they still are. One thing I was curious about, we were looking at this, and are y'all thinking about, or have y'all ever thought about doing some type of like referral program where we could automatically send out a unique like tracking link, or like maybe integrating with another company that does that? Since y'all are already so good at it.
Yeah, so what people are doing now is they are using their existing referral program and using the link and just sending that out in an automation. We are discussing with referral programs the process to integrate it deeper. But right now you can, and what you can do, just if you don't have a referral program, what you can do now is just create a form within Chiirp. Some guys have done it where they create a form. You have that form builder within Chiirp, and you can send that out and say, hey, if you have a referral, put them in here, and then that starts a text and tags them as that person's referral. You can definitely do that now. It doesn't track rewards or things like that, but it definitely can track who it came from. So there's ways to do it now. And then we do have, if you have a referral program you like, you can send the link through a text to just say, hey, if you have a referral, click here. And then, yeah, we are working on other ways to do it as well.
Okay. Cool.
But sufficeth to say, you're absolutely right. You should automate the asking process. You should be asking for referrals. And if you automate it, it will remove the emotion from, like, some people, if you leave it to a human, they're going to make an excuse to not ask for a referral at some point.
Oh yeah.
But an automation doesn't have that emotion, and it's just going to ask for the referral every time.
Same thing with reviews. You're gonna talk
Same thing.
yourself out.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people doing the referral stuff as of today. So at Job Complete and Service Titan or Job Complete and House Call Pro, they'll automate a referral request. And in that text message, they'll put a link to a form where the customer can submit the referral that they want to give. When that form is submitted, that automatically creates an internal notification to the company that they know that that referral came from that customer. And so that if that ends up turning into a deal, they know to pay them out. So,
Yeah, I saw you have the quick pages set up.
yep.
So using something like that.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what we were looking at. I was kind of playing around with that.
You know how wonderful this would have been when we were on Jobber, not having to rely on you.
Oh. Yeah.
Save that fight for later, guys.
Oh, we've already had it.
Oh, okay.
Well, we've been on Service Titan quite a few years now, right?
Yeah.
I will give it to you though. I can tell by the questions that you're asking and what you're already doing and the campaigns that you're running, you're getting it, which is good, man. You're understanding automation and okay, man, I got a gap in my business. Is there any way that I could automate this process to kind of fill that gap?
So so the funny part is most of the things we've done over here is Jacob's like, hey, we got this going on. We need to figure this out. And he'll be like, we have 6 different ways we can fix it. And we'll go through the first 5 first. And then the 6th one, he'll be like, dude, there's no way that's going to work. And I'm like, I don't think it's going to work either, but let's do it. That last thing that we try after we make all these other mistakes is the thing that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's life.
I found my keys in the last place I looked.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, well, why would you start looking after you found them? Why would you keep looking after you found them?
I have one more gap. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, we're a seasonal company. Being in irrigation, every irrigation company is seasonal. We slow down November, pick back up. I mean, March 1st, that's when like our spring campaign goes out. Really at the end of February, like mid-February, we kick off our spring campaign, which has been huge for us because that's how we drive our spring startup,
Yep.
But so I'm curious, and there's other seasonal companies, HVAC, they have the seasonal in the spring and the fall. I'm just curious kind of what other seasonal companies are doing. Like, just how do people manage the seasonality of their businesses? Like,
So
what type of offers are they doing?
I think that it's super important, just as a human being, just for mentality wise, to have the idea in your head that you're a seasonal company is dangerous, just because, like, you know how we are mentally, and especially nowadays, people are more and more mentally volatile. And when you go through longer gaps of no business, it's bad for you mentally. Like, we want to always be winning, right? And we want to it's like going, I'm going to work out all summer long, and then I'm not going to work out in the, you have to maintain consistency. So you've got to think outside the box when it comes to seasonality. And, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a few examples, and then I don't know the irrigation business well enough to be able to say, hey, this is what you should be doing, but I'm going to give you the tools to think outside the box. So for example, you've got these landscape lighting guys landscape lighting guys who, that's very seasonal, right? You're not going to get as much business in the winter for landscaping. And so what a lot of them have done have added and power washers, I think, or pressure washers are doing this as well. They thought outside the box and said, what do people need in the winter that are similar to us? And they do Christmas light, like permanent Christmas light installation and stuff like that, so that it's a related service, not weird enough, not far enough away from landscape lighting that it's weird to offer that. Does that make sense? You wouldn't want to be a landscape lighting company and then be like, oh, in the winter we do plumbing. It's like totally different thing. You want to find something that's at least relatable enough. And then HVAC guys, they lean heavily on preparation. So they go into shoulder season And the industry has always been like air conditionings are running and then they break and then we come in and fix them, and it's always just this like edge of the sword, like always at the edge kind of situation. And they're trying to create a system where in the shoulder season or off season they're reaching out going, hey, we just want to make sure your system is maintained during this time so that when summer does come, you're not in a pinch, because that's when things get crazy. And if you don't want to go out, and so you have to think in those terms of like, okay, how do I change the mindset of my customer to move it from seasonal to year round? And you can do that with automation, because I can reach out during those slower times and start to grease the wheels and start to get them thinking in that direction. So that's a way that the HVAC guys do it. The plumbers, they do water softeners is a thing that they're pushing. And so, like I said, I don't know what that is for you, but you should be trying to think outside the box in that regard.
So let me give you another idea here real quick. So, and this goes back to Ryan's idea of scaling authenticity and how you can actually do that through automation. One of the things that's extremely powerful is when you're slow, bring in an audience of anyone that's left you a 5-star review and just send out a ringless voicemail to them, thanking them for their business, letting them know that you appreciate them being a customer, and to let you know if they ever need anything. We see companies getting a ton of business from that type of stuff, where you're just thanking your customer, letting them know that you appreciate them and that you're there for them if they ever need anything. So that would be one strategy that I would look at doing, that's kind of outside of the box, because you're not necessarily doing some kind of promotion. You're just thanking your customers for being a customer. If you're not familiar with ringless voicemails, it's just a pre-recorded voicemail that hits the inbox of the customer, shows up as a missed call, but it doesn't ring. So the owner of the company could create that ringless voicemail one time, bring in an audience, and send it out to everybody. Another thing that everything starts with mindset. Everything starts with mindset. So we need to prepare for those times that we feel like might be slow. And one of the ways to do that is to be proactive. And so one of my recommendations would be, we have to keep in front of our customers throughout the entire year, not just when we're slow and we want to blast out a marketing campaign. So do some kind of job complete nurture campaign that goes for an entire year. That's like one text message, even every couple of months or every 3 months. I don't know exactly what you want to say in that text message, but it's just, when a job is complete, I'm going to trigger a year-long campaign that has a text message every 3 months, just thanking that person for being a customer, or like adding some kind of value in regards to the services that you guys offer, giving them tips and tricks or different things like that. That way you're staying in front of your customers throughout the entire year. And if they ever run into anything, hopefully you're going to be the company they reach out to.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, have you found like any good ratio of how often you can reach out? Like, is it okay to send text once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a week, or should you alternate between text and email or something like that?
Do you mind? I want to answer that question, but I want to build on Justin's thing. Do you guys care if I go like deeper into the mindset stuff, kind of the weird?
Yeah.
Because we do like to talk about the logistics and the processes, but if the mindset behind it isn't correct, it's very difficult to have success with this kind of stuff. And so this should help answer your question of how often. So mindset to us is everything. It's literally the whole reason we've been successful at Chiirp, and the whole reason. And so when I hear a company saying, "Oh, I want to do what he's doing," that to me tells me his mindset is a little bit broken, because if we understand everybody's business is different, if I implemented exactly what Tommy was doing at my garage door company in this state, I'd probably fall on my face, just because Tommy has a certain way of doing things that fit with his culture and his vibe and his personality. And so I have to take tactics and strategies and these ideas and then think them through and put them through a filter and have them come out the end into my business and how it's going to work for me. Because you hear these guys all the time, well, just give me his campaign. Let me copy his campaign. It's like, that's going to fail. And so I want to help you, not you. I don't mean it condescendingly. That's not what I mean. I want to help the listeners see kind of our mindset and our process behind these things. So when you say our business is seasonal, that's your mindset. That your mindset is such that it is a seasonal business. Now, if you want to change that, you start at the very beginning and you write this down. You write down a goal in your journal. I have mine. If you like, whatever it is, you put this down on paper that you have an intention to change that mindset into, I don't want this to be a seasonal business anymore. I want this business to be a 360. I want to be busy 365 days.
I'm always busy.
I'm always busy. So I'm going to write down, my business is not seasonal. I'm not going to say not seasonal. I'm going to say my business is busy year round. And I'm going to write this down. And that's going to trigger my brain to start finding the ideas and looking and recognizing what it is. Like I said, I can't tell you what it is for irrigation, but you can put your superhuman computer, which is your brain, to work by triggering it, by writing it down. And now it's going to go to work and you're going to start seeing what you're at work, you're going to be doing something. Oh, you know what? And because it's top of mind and it's in your reticular activator, you're going to start recognizing what it is that's going to cause that to happen. Your brain is more powerful than you could ever imagine, and it will solve this problem of seasonality if you put it to work. And that's the deep mindset stuff behind this stuff. I don't mean to go. That's, if you talk to Justin and I for any amount of time, you'll start to think we're like super crazy and like way out there. But that's what drives. That's what drives the ideas. That's what drives the ideas for fixing problems in your business. And then once you do, you work backwards from there and build the process. So go ahead, Justin.
It's the same thing as blasting out a ringless voicemail to all your 5-star reviews, right? Like certain people just don't have the mindset of how that's going to drive business for them. People want to sell. You know what I mean? They want to send a text message that has some kind of promotion in it because in their mind, that's how they're going to make money. But what if we just nurtured a customer with text messages that made them feel good?
Yeah.
And made them feel appreciated. What would that do for their business? You think if a customer feels good and they feel appreciated that they'll ever go to another company?
No.
Yeah, just wanted to say thanks. It really means a lot to me that you did business with us. Thank you.
We've put a lot of work into building this thing, and it means a ton to us that you guys have chosen to work with us, and just wanted to say thanks.
So the most hilarious part about this, and I just got done talking to him about this the other day. This for the last month, I've been doing you were talking about, paying somebody to do the follow-ups, that y'all's automation system would do that. I actually started having to do the follow-ups myself, and, that's something we've never done that. Just all the years we've been working together, all this stuff, there's probably no telling how much revenue we've lost, just not never following up. And, I've probably done in this month, probably 35 to 40 different follow-ups with different customers, and at least 20 or 30% of those customers, as soon as I was done, even if they didn't approve, or if they had something else going on, or they just didn't have the money, or whatever the case may be, 20 or 30% of them at the end of the call said, I really appreciate you reaching out. It means a lot that you care. I look forward to hearing from you again.
You're building goodwill. You're building a long-term legacy brand. You're not just here to get the quick buck. And that's going to pay. It's going to pay off. It may, like you said, they don't all convert, but some may 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. They're going to remember that they had a good interaction with you, and you're going to earn their business eventually. And that's how you build a sustainable long-term business. And that's not just about.
Let me teach you.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll go after you.
We've built a lot of good. We've built a lot of good customer relationships in the last 2. I would say probably just the last 2 years, because I used to be out in the field before I came in here with him, and during the wintertime, he decided I had to do a bunch of the work. Appreciate that. But I can tell you how many customers, we'd get a call and I'd go out there and they'd be like, I've had this company I've had for years, but this time of year comes around, I call them and they're like, well, we're doing Christmas lights, or hey, we're doing this, we're not doing irrigation for another month. So they call us, and then we essentially get to take that customer from them because, we come in, we're not seasonal, we're working year round, we build a relationship with them, and I've had tons of them even say, you're more expensive than my other company, but because you're here, I like y'all came when I called, that's our customer now.
You will be blown away by how much more people are willing to spend if they like you.
Oh yeah.
Like you remove all barriers, you remove all objections, everything if they like you and feel good around you.
Step one.
And that comes from mindset, and that comes from being just a honest, genuine, good person that's authentic. People will just get the vibe and they'll go, yeah, that other guy was cheaper, but he something. And this is all subconscious. They're not going to say that consciously, but they're going to go, nope, we're going with these guys for sure, 100%. I don't even want to think about anybody else because I like these guys.
Yeah. So listen to this. This is another mindset shift. So I got to give a shout out to Devin Thompson with Thompson Family Plumbing, but they're a Chiirp user. They're on Service Titan, but we could do this on other FSMs as well.
SoCal represent.
So one of the things she does is she automates follow up on her open estimates through Chiirp, right?
Okay.
So we know how to stop campaigns, right? So if you go out and you give an if the estimate ends up selling, Chiirp stops the follow up, right? What she's doing is if it doesn't sell, but's dismissed, because that's another trigger, dismissed. She automates a text message. And it says, hey, first name, we appreciate the chance and opportunity to assist you with your plumbing needs. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. So even when it doesn't sell, she's automating a text message thanking the person for the chance they had to get into their home and give them an estimate. That's powerful.
It is.
And that's the kind of like, if you can shift into that kind of mindset, that's where you are going to make massive moves. Because guess what? Even though that person didn't buy right then and there, who knows? They may have reached out later on, or later on down the road. The fact that she did that might have subconsciously driven something into their mind and created a feeling where if they ever need something in the future, they're going to reach out to her for their needs.
And also too, you just set their expectation bar up really high because they're going to call somebody else and get an estimate, and they're going to say, "Wow, these guys just gave me this and just left."
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that goes back to answer two of your questions. The how often should you be texting, right? I can't answer that. You can't answer that.
Depends what the text message is.
Yeah. You have to figure that out for your business, and how often would you as a person do that?
If you're sending something like that, you could do it all the time.
Yeah, and you have to determine that what's gonna cause, you have to find that balance in your business. And then the other thing, man, I had it and then it went away. The other question, I'll think of it. It was about authenticity, but anyways, I'll think of it. But it'll come back to me.
I like what you guys are saying about mindset and just reframing that we're not seasonal, we're year round. Because when I tried to figure this out, and I know some people do Christmas lights, and you brought that up, but I've never liked to think that way, because I like to think of us as we are an irrigation company. We're the experts.
Sure.
This is what we do. So we don't do Christmas lights. That's not what we do.
We don't do anything but this.
Yeah, this is what we're here for. So
I like that mindset.
I do too.
We have
I like that
solutions
mindset
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Put your brain to work. Don't even say the words, we're a seasonal company, because that will force the universe to mold to your mindset.
What we need to do is say we're slow. How do we fix it?
Yeah.
Don't even say we're slow. Say we are a busy company 365 days a year. Say the words first, put them down, and then your brain will start to go, wait, we're full time. I got to fix this problem. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to catch up to your mindset. It's got to catch up to what you already believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure it out.
So this is a universal principle. What follows I am follows you. I am slow. Guess what? Slowness is going to follow you.
I am a seasonal company.
I am a seasonal company.
It
That
follows.
season's always going to follow you. I am always busy. Busy is going to follow you. And I know it seems crazy. I'm just telling you, if you can at least try it out and write it down. It's powerful to write it down because anytime you put a ritual into it, it, like Ryan said, it makes you start thinking about how you can actually make that ritual be true. But it sounds like hocus pocus. Give it a shot.
Well, that's going to be easy implementation for us because that's that sixth. What you're talking about is our sixth idea. That's not going to work. That's crazy. That's the one that works.
That's the one that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get to a point now where we're smart enough to think, okay, what's the crazy? You just did it not that long ago. All right, what's the craziest thing we can do? All right, let's try that one first.
Yeah. Totally.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, hopefully we haven't gone too far off track,
Yeah.
but
No.
we really believe that this is the type of stuff that's gonna help a business owner long term. You build the man, and the man will build the business, and it all comes down to mindset.
Yeah, and that tool, the tool we've created, and like we said, there's other tools that can accomplish some of the things that we can do, but our goal, mine and Justin's, is to show that the tool is just a part of what we do. The whole idea is to say, hey, here's a tool to turn you into somebody. Don't copy what this guy's doing. Use the tool to take your personality, your abilities, your company, and what you've created. And here's a tool to get that out to people. Don't look at it as, well, I'm gonna see what these guys are doing. I'm gonna copy this. Like the tool is just part of this whole process of figuring out what's the right way to do it for you specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. And your customer, like I said, your customer service is just unmatched, really.
Thank you.
I mean,
That
truly is.
means a lot because it really means a lot because we've put a lot. When we first figured this thing out, we were like, our first thing was how do we freaking sell this thing? And we figured out how to sell it. And then the next goal was, well, how do we keep people coming back for more? How do we keep them here? And we focused a lot of time and energy into the support side. And it means a lot to hear that it's actually working.
We've found even in this business, if the customer's only reason to leave you is the price, they're not going anywhere.
Right.
Guys, I'm sorry. I personally have a call.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We got
Oh, we've burned up the whole hour.
This
Yeah.
has been an amazing podcast. We appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to come on here.
No, we thank you.
yeah. We appreciate it deeply.
Yeah, we got. I was just gonna give you all.
Justin
your
can
final
jump
words.
off, but I can stand if you guys have anything.
I'll jump off if we can get a link to share this or whatever when you guys end up. I don't know if you edit it or whatever, but shoot me over whatever you have once it's done, and I'll share it to our audience as well.
Okay, perfect. I will.
All right.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys. Okay, bye.
All right. Oh well, before you do that, I do have one question. About the automation. It may not go this deep, and it may not need to, but it's just something I was curious about. Let's say one of my technicians, because we do memberships as well. Let's say one of our guys goes out, writes up a couple estimates. Let's say a couple, one or if we got a few estimates. Sorry, so if we got 3, but we got 2 estimates with with memberships on it. So I wonder if we could use the automation to also increase the conversion of memberships as well. Can it target just that part of the estimate, or is it just going to target, hey, you've got estimates open? How deep does it go?
You can there are several filters below that to choose what type of follow-up you want to do. So if you have a specific tag, job type, business unit, some sort of differentiator that lets me know that that's a different estimate, we can trigger a different follow-up for that specific thing.
So it can read off of our where it says potential member when we go out to them.
Oh yeah, I can see the tags and stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Just curious.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a differentiator. That's part of our deep integration. A lot of the other systems that do integrate, it's just like follow up on estimates. Ours is like follow up on this very specific estimate with this very specific cadence and sequence, So
Well, I don't think anybody does that better than y'all right now.
thank you very much.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah,
That's
that's
perfect.
good.
That was way better than the intro we had earlier.
Yeah, it probably was actually.
Well, you got to remember too. In our industry, is so slow and it's so behind. It's any education we can give these people is going to help them out.
Oh yeah, totally. And that's why I love this space, is because I feel like I came from kind of the digital marketing world in a sense. I did a lot of digital when I did the course and all that stuff. And it's like I'm able to bring that to a place where it's still new, and I have a lot of work to do. So
we're still trying to educate people on watching their own conversion rates and ROIs, and this can be a big jump for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, man. I just can't say it enough. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we
This
appreciate
has
it.
been great. I love it. Thank you guys. Yeah, send us when you're done. Let's promote it.
All right.
All right, I will.
Thanks,
See
sir.
you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
See ya.